I'm from an 801 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's up, Sam? Yo, I'm a big fan.
Who's
Sam.
this? Who's
right? Can't believe you answered. Holy shit. All right.
Who is this?
This is Gabriel from Salt Lake.
Gabriel from Salt Lake. What's on your mind, Gabriel?
Yo, so I want to debate you, but I just want to say first, I might get a little heated.
Okay.
Because I'm really strong on this topic, but I really love your show, and you're like my favorite person on YouTube, and you've like got me through like a lot of hard times.
All right, Gabriel. I will then. I will try not to get too heated, but I also things are a little tense around here, so let's do this and just make sure that we don't take it personally on both of our parts.
I could never take anything personal from you. You're like, this is why I sound weird to say, but you're like my savior in kind of a way, dude. You really got me through a lot of hard times. I just want to say that. And like, I just want to debate you on the whole voting for Biden thing.
Okay.
I don't like. I get your argument for it. Trump's bad, and Biden's like incrementally better, right?
Correct.
But the whole sexual allegation thing.
Yeah.
Like I consider myself to be a feminist in a way, and I want to be an ally to the movement. And how can I be an ally if I vote Biden knowing this accusation?
Because sometimes you're an ally by doing something that's defensive as well. And defending the movement against Donald Trump is going to ultimately be better for people in that movement. I mean, I can tell you that, you know, there's plenty of feminist writers that you can see who make this argument that and they are obviously torn like you are, and I think many of us are. But Donald Trump is obviously worse on sexual assault, I think, than Joe Biden. I think that's self-evident. But he's also worse for women and society in general. So I think it's a defensive maneuver. Really, is really what it's coming down for. I mean, a vote for Joe Biden is a defensive vote. There's no doubt about it. You're voting against Donald Trump.
You're like,
but couldn't I just vote for a third party and then say, like, okay, I just want to have this situation where if I have a daughter and she grows up and asks me, how could I vote for Joe Biden knowing we have that allegation? Why can't I just vote for somebody third party to have a clear conscience and tell my would-be daughter that I did the right thing?
Because you don't vote for the sake of your conscience. You vote to impact the material existence of other people and yourself and your daughter going forward. And from a material perspective, there is no doubt that women are going to fare better under Joe Biden than Donald Trump.
That's a fact. That's definitely facts. But like, my vote doesn't really matter if you think about it. I'm in Utah. Like,
well, okay. All right. Listen, first of all, we don't know about Utah. But I mean, if you're saying, well, I'm in a state that is not going to be, there's not going to be any contention, then the calculus is a little bit different, right? I mean, yes, if I'm in New York and I vote for, Nomi, I write in Nomi's name for president, Joe Biden still,
I would do that.
Joe Biden's still going to win. And so my action is less relevant with that, no doubt. And I don't know. I mean, I don't think Utah is going to go for Joe Biden under any circumstance. And so, I mean, in Utah, when you talk about Utah specifically, yeah, your vote is not as relevant in this instance. And so, okay, if it makes you feel better. But the argument I'm making is really about swing states. I would say even in swing states, like I would make the argument to people in swing states, like, yeah, vote for your conscience. Like, you don't want to have that. Like, let's say Joe Biden wins the election and then everything comes out to be true. Like, but you knew about this. Like, how? Like,
like some people might feel guilty. Like, why wouldn't you want them to just vote for who they want to, knowing this allegation?
Well, why do you
like,
vote? Why do you vote? Do you vote to make yourself feel good, or do you vote because you want to bring about a better society?
Well, I mean, you're not going to get a better society with Joe Biden at the helm. I mean,
well, no, I think we've established that. I think we've established that. You're going to get a better society. I mean, just look at the response to this crisis.
Of course.
There's no way in a million years Joe Biden gets rid of the pandemic planning that was on the National Security Council. There is no way in a million years that Joe Biden gets rid of the head of pandemic response at Department of Homeland Security. There's no way in a million years Joe Biden cuts back on the CDC operations in China. There's no way in a million years.
Sure?
Yes. There's no way in a million years that Joe Biden throws out the 70-page document that Ron Klain, who is one of his top advisors right now, wrote as a game plan to respond to a pandemic. That is indisputable. And so the bottom line is, I mean, look, and you can tell me you're voting on your conscience all you want, but your conscience should also include the thousands of lives who could be saved if there was just a competent, if you in your mind want to consider him a rapist, by all means, go to town. But a competent rapist at the helm versus a completely incompetent one who has no interest in the functions of government. That's just the reality. Everything else, man, I mean, like, honestly, like, if you believe that voting is only about making yourself feel good and not have any implications for other people in society, go to town.
Right.
But otherwise, I don't know what to tell you. But Gabriel, I really appreciate the call. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Sam.
All right, hang in there, man. There you go. I almost got heated.
This is a weird one that I think, like, obviously it requires suspending all personal moral values, but
of course,
think about JFK, think about MLK Jr. I'm not saying that, like, if they lived in this era, they wouldn't have treated women the way that they did. Who knows? But misogyny runs very, very deep in our society, and it is not spoken enough and understood enough, and the depths of it beyond rape. I mean, really, it's so deeply ingrained in humanity at this point that this kind of vote it's a little privileged, I have to say it, because as much as I despise Joe Biden as a feminist, as someone who's been a sexual assault survivor, and so many other women, I have the privilege as a white woman who, God willing, will be in a safe situation post-COVID, but I also have the privilege as a New York voter. And I have the privilege of exercising my vote however I want to send a message to the power. But the power games, the power that we had was in the primary people. The power is not now in the general, and that is the ultimate control of the two-party system. I understand that. But you don't say, like, in the middle of the war, oh, guys, guess what? I have an idea. No, we're in the middle of incoming fire at this point. The time to strategize and to negotiate the strategy was a few months ago, frankly. And we didn't win that. And, you know, there's a lot of reasons why. But at the end of the day, like, my power and my privilege is that this can be a philosophical debate, and, like, you know, I'm holding out because I live in New York. But other people don't have that privilege.
Right.
I'm sorry. Like, if you really think that the world is going to be the same under Joe Biden, then you are a fucking privileged person. I'm sorry. I'm just getting to that point where it's like, you're privileged. And we all talk about privilege in the left. Well, this is ultimately it.
Absolutely
is this
right.
a philosophical debate, or is this life and death?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, even as anemic as things like in you know, people perceive the Obamacare, there is a big difference between 10 million people being on Medicaid because of its expansion and not. And there is, you know, Joe Biden is going to be surrounded by a wide range of people, and he will tend to listen to those that we don't want him to listen to. But there will be moments where he will have to listen to the ones that we do want him to. And
That's actually a good point. We have demands to make. My whole perspective here is, listen, I live in New York and can vote for whoever I want, right? I'm not going to tell people who to vote for, but I also want people to understand the significance of what happens if they do not vote in a key state or do vote for somebody else and not Biden or whatever it is. But we do have demands to make of Biden, and we do have power over him in that sense. Like, why is Larry Summers even why are we even bringing that into the conversation at this point? You know, there are ways we can use our power in this moment to push him more so than Hillary. I mean, Hillary was completely resistant.
Yeah, I do get the sense that Joe Biden, you know, there's a quality about Joe Biden's candidacy that is like, look, I know I'm a placeholder, and anybody who steps forward and has the biggest, you know, all right, fine, whatever works for you. You know, like I think there's a I don't want to overstate it, but there is a quality there of that.